Hello everyone, my name is Heidi and I'm so excited to announce you the new podcast that we are starting today, Acentos or Accent. So this is a podcast and this is a project about information that can be interesting for everyone. We are going to talking about businesses, governance, social topics, everything that can help us to be informed. Welcome to our podcast. I'm so happy and excited to be here with my friend Rosita Lamarque, and she's going to tell us who is our first guest today.
Our first guest today is going to be our mayor from Hobbs, New Mexico, Jonathan Sena. We feel so excited to start talking to him. We have a lot of things to talk about, not just about community, but also about his background and what he visions for the future of this city. We encourage you to keep us busy. Let's support this idea. We encourage you to stay with us so we can go ahead and learn from Jonathan. We all know Jonathan Sena, but we are so happy to have him here because we can talk about more topics related to politics, to economy, to every single thing about his story and our impact and his impact in this community.
And well, our podcast try to share the different accents, different people. Every story counts. Every person has a journey. So this is the thing that we want to show you. Please join us and follow us. Maybe we can help other people to be more educated about different things. So thank you so much for being here with us.
It's not just about accents, it's just mix of experiences about histories, heritage, identity, goals, economy, and everything together here in our community. So feel free to stay with us, and thank you all so much for your support. That's like a different and interesting question. Mm-hmm. What kind of questions does Hobbs society have in mind when we come through a podcast and see what they think about? We should have a part 2, I guess.
Absolutely. I'd be glad to. Hey, if you
keep having the questions and everything once
and if you have Cuban coffee, count me in, Camila. Okay. I'm ready. This is great. No, but that's great. And I think it's so funny because I think sometimes when we talk about some of the questions to ask and things, I know whenever I'm knocking on doors, visiting people like I did with your house and how I've done with your house too, is sometimes I'm like, I'll ask people, how can I serve you? ¿Cómo les puedo representar? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, well, or what do you need? ¿Qué necesitan? And they go, and sometimes in my mind, I think they want some great big thing. And sometimes they do. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people go, well, there's a hole in the street over there. Could you fix that? And when you fix the hole, which we can do, they go, thank you. Or they go, down the street here, your light was out for almost 2 years. I don't know if you knew that street light. Uh-huh. And I kept passing it. And one day because usually I'm in a rush. I'm going through here trying to get home, right? Mm-hmm. One day I got sick of it. So that's light down the street. I said, this is terrible. And so I called the lady from Excel Energy, and she said, send me the address. So I drove up to it in my car. I pinned it in my Apple Met thing, and I sent her the address. Well, they fixed the light. You have a light that came on.
And it was you?
Yes, I called it in. See? So look at that.
Thank you. You can thank him now.
So we didn't get it wasn't the new grocery store, and we're working on new grocery stores. We are working on a new grocery store in Hobbs. That's one of the things. We're working on it. It takes a lot, but sometimes it's those things that are maybe a little thing, right. But for the neighbors who live here, it's a big thing because it makes a neighborhood safer. And or some people talk about speeding, and we've worked on that. We're going to have to continue working on it, but sometimes the little things are the big things for people.
Yes.
So
that leads me to ask, what's the role of a mayor? Because a lot of people do not know. Mm-hmm. How, if you are involved in politics, you know. But if you are not, and you vote sometimes and you do not vote.
Like most people.
What does a mayor do?
So it's so interesting because years ago when I was a city commissioner, I would go to schools and talk to kids and thinking I was really great. And I'd go, okay, now we're going to take questions. And I'd give them an inspirational speech. And after the questions, they'd go, do you know the mayor? So they don't know commissioners either, but sometimes they know the mayor. And so the role of mayor, it's very different, especially for our people, the Latino people, because in Mexico, el presidente de una ciudad has a lot of power. Over education, over his wife, la primera dama. She has a job many times in the Mexican cities. Well, it's different here. And there's a lot of checks and balances. Like I'm not with it. We work with the schools. It's very different. So in answer to your question, the number one rule of a mayor is to represent the people. Okay. I think if I could elaborate a little more, it's to work on the issues under the New Mexico State Constitution and under our charter. You see, by the laws of the state of New Mexico, we created our own, it's kind of like our own constitution. And not a lot of people know about that, but it was done about 25 years ago, 25 years ago. And it's called a charter. And under that charter, we set up to have 6 commissioners and a mayor who's elected at large. And what that does is the leaders back then, like Robert Ray, let me think. It was Bobby Wallach, Monty Newman, some of those great leaders. They decided that we needed to have a mayor that elected at large so that businesses could connect with that one person. Because otherwise, they were connecting with a commissioner that switched every 2 years or every year and a half. So we started working on that. And it's been good. It's been good. And so for me, my focus is infrastructure, roads and irrigation, drainage, public safety, police department, making sure your neighborhoods are safe, economic development. Those are that's my big focus. And starting it all to get into that is working with morale of the city staff and putting people first. What I found out a long time ago, Rosa and I did, was that if you're Democrat or Republican, independent, and if I could go into Mexico and say if you're PAN or PRI, I guess, everybody, if you're a liberal Democrat, like you loved Kamala Harris, or you're a MAGA Republican and you wear the red hats and you voted for Trump, doesn't matter. They all, or you're an independent. All my independent friends, like my cuñada, they're very proud to be independents. They'll let you know. How do you know if someone's an independent politically? Well, they'll tell you. All right, they'll tell you. But what they all want, they all want good roads. They all want to have safe neighborhoods.
Yes.
They all want to get their kids and maybe walk over to Taylor Park and not get shot
safely.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that their kids have a better life than they had. They want good health care. And I think my political philosophy is if we can work on these, and they all want good jobs, safe jobs that are proven safe, scientifically proven to be safe. If we could work on those issues, those common ground issues, I could spend my entire political career working on those issues, serving Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, and meeting needs for the people and moving the ball forward. And we can always fight about the divisive issues of the day that they focus on, Fox or CNN or whatever. But if we worked on those issues, that's where you get things done. And that's where people go, okay, I can actually trust government again, because they're not just trying to get reelected, because that's what most politicians in America, maybe not in Lee County or Hobbs, but most places, their greatest goal is to get reelected. Let's just be honest. They're working to get reelected, and they're working it's self-preservation. But if we had leaders that were looking to do the right thing and focus on those issues that bring us together, then we can move forward. So that's a long answer. The number one answer is represent the people. The longer thing, that's my focus as a mayor.
What is the term for a mayor? And the
4
mayor,
years.
4 years, can be reelected?
It can be.
How many terms?
There's no term limits. Maybe there should be. I've talked about that before. I would be in favor of term limits if they wanted them. But because usually, most of the time, unless you're just an incredible mayor, and our previous mayor was a good man, but most of the time, you're going to get done what you need to get done for 8 years. So for me, I want to do a good job. If I do a good job and you guys want to keep me around for another 4 years, then maybe we can see about that. But I think we need to, if we work on the people's issues, 4 years is good. 8 years is it's usually enough. But there's no term limit, so maybe there should be. But we would need to change the charter, and that happens every 10 years.
Okay. It was a woman as a mayor before in Hobbs?
So we've had a woman mayor before, but it was before we had the charter. So back in the day, antes de, 2000 or 2002, when we made the charter, they had 7 commissioners, I think, and they would just rotate who was mayor. And we had one before. I think her name was, I'm trying to think, Joy Martin maybe in 1990. I think I was in 3rd grade. She was a real estate agent or something. I didn't know her.
Okay.
But it has happened. But under the new charter, we have not. So maybe at some point y'all should run for mayor.
I will vote again for you.
Yeah, just let me finish, because if y'all vote, I couldn't win against either of y'all. And you make good coffee, so.
That's the only thing I could do. I can vote.
Yeah, I would never run against somebody who made good Cuban coffee like this.
I think that you can do it better than us. So
yes.
you have
we'll support you.
Well, I'm gonna work for you in the meantime. We're gonna work hard. So, but I think it's we have a very diverse commission. We have Latino, Anglo, African American. We have had female commissioners before that were great. Pat Taylor, Crystal Mullins, great people, very humble, very hardworking, and I think we all bring something to the table that's just different. And on the county commission, I worked with Rebecca Long, and she was great. She was our chair. Now, she was the chair of the county commission, and she was really classy. And I'll say this, just in case Rebecca Long's listening, she's a phenomenal leader. She's listening. Okay, Rebecca, let me say this. I love you, and you're a great leader, and I learned a lot from her. And Rebecca Long was a great leader because she always let us have our say. And she taught me that. And I've been criticized for that before because I do not believe in censorship. I believe, and I think a true conservative, a true liberal, allows people to have their say. This is America. You should have your say. Now, I do believe you should be respectful. I believe that. But you should have your say. Everybody should have that. And I always, I learned that from Rebecca Long, a good woman chair. She would disagree with me at times, but she allowed me to say what I thought and to speak up and represent my people. Because my constituents sometimes felt differently about things than their constituents, which is normal. And so when I spoke up, I was able to speak on their behalf, and they'd let me have my say. I didn't always win votes, or I didn't always win and pass my ordinances or whatever, or my ideas. But when I had my say, I was grateful. So other commissioners at times would say things that they would say things in a way I didn't agree with, or say things that I didn't agree with. But I would let them have their say. And people would call me and say, Jonathan, you can't know. And they would be on the phone for 30 minutes or an hour letting me have it and criticizing me because I said, look, the only way I can serve and have my say is if I allow them to have their say. And I think the public should be able to say things. I should be able to. And hopefully we can respectfully move forward after that. So but I learned it from a woman. And she was one of the great leaders in my life. And Senator Shirley Bailey, she was a state senator, a Christian woman. She loved God, and she was my boss. I went to Santa Fe, and I worked for her for a session. And she treated me very well. She treated me like I was a son or a nephew. And she taught me things, and she'd bring me into her office and pray with me. That's not politically correct, right? Ella oraba conmigo and me explicó cosas acerca del gobierno y she taught me how I should treat other people. So Rebecca Long, Senator Shirley Bailey, Representative Shirley Tyler, I worked for her, and she was good to me, and they taught me things, and so hopefully I can be a leader like them.
Wow.
And my mom too, of course, my mom was very close with Rosa.
I miss her.
I miss her too.
Yes.
And she got to see me become county commissioner. She had to look down from heaven for the mayor thing, but I miss her a lot too.
Yes.
I miss her a lot. She was our friend, wasn't she?
Yes, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
But yeah.
In a context of differences in Hobbs, different cultures, different parties, different purposes and perspectives, which are your challenges?
Well,
beside the one you just mentioned.
Sure. I think it's always a challenge with differences. It's beautiful though. The challenge of people with differences, or even with diversity, it's beautiful. Diversity is beautiful. Differences are good. Differences in culture, and we've talked about this before. Hobbs is diverse. You have the African American, you have Anglo, you have Latino or Hispanic or however you want to say that. But in the Latino community, it's very diverse. You have Cuban, right, Camila? You have Mexican, but you have Mexico's different too, though.
Oh,
Chihuahua, Durango, Sinaloa.
Mexico City.
Mexico City, con, toda mi gente de Ciudad México. It's very different. It, just like someone from Alabama is different from New York. So it's a very diverse city. So I think the challenge is, and so there's a difference there in culture. There's also a difference between politics. I have constituents that voted for me who are liberal Democrats. I have constituents who vote for me who wear the red hats and they're MAGA Republicans and independents. Why would they dare vote for me? Because I'm willing to have a conversation and find common ground. I think the great challenge is we can watch the news and get mad about our differences. We can talk about all the issues of the day. Immigration, abortion, tariffs, whatever it is that's someone's particular thing. And we can fight about that. It's easy to fight about things. It's hard to build a relationship. But if we're willing to get past the pride, and I know politicians we have egos, even local. I don't speak about anybody else. I say myself, okay? I have an ego. But if we're willing to talk and listen long enough, if we talk and listen long enough, we're going to find out we agree. So I might disagree on many things. We keep talking and you're like, wait a minute, you like coffee? Well, I do too. Let's vote. Okay, that's something. That's something to talk about. And I think that's important. And that's how you find common ground. And that's what my sister is a state representative right now. And for the longest time, elected officials go to Santa Fe and they feel very discouraged. And obviously so, because their politics are different. They don't feel like anybody listens. And what I like about my sister, and I'm not saying this because she's my sister, her style is good because she's a bridge builder. If she'll build friendships with people and care about them as a person. And if you can keep talking with somebody long enough and build a relationship, you're going to find some kind of common ground. And last year she passed her first bill in her first session. And I think you get things done if you're willing to have a conversation. That's a hard part because we're not all willing to do that. We get offended. But if we can look past our differences, value our differences, but say, look, okay, I know we're different, but what do we agree on? Carl Mackey and I, he was a liberal Democrat. He was African-American civil rights leader. And here I am, este güerito, Latino, Republicano, algo. And we would go on trips together, training trips. And we were so different. He loved Obama. I liked John McCain. And we'd talk and all this stuff. But we kept talking. We had to. We're driving for 6 hours to Santa Fe. And he would make me so mad. And I would get on his nerves, but he'd laugh, thought it was fun. But we kept talking. And we found out, wait a minute, you're a Christian, so am I. You care about people, so do I. You want to fix roads? So do I. We kept talking until we found out we agreed more on anything. He said, you'd make a good Democrat. And I said, you'd make a good Republican. But we found out it wasn't any of that. It was that as Americans, we cared about people and we cared about issues more than just worshiping a political party. Because when we worship political parties, people watch that from the outside. And they feel disenfranchised and they stop believing in government. But when we start speaking to issues and show we care about people and find a way to work together, then we get things done. And so Carl Mackey and I, we did. He died many years ago, but he was my best friend in public office. He was a Democrat. He would never be a Republican. But we found out we had so much in common that we became best friends. And when he died, I was at his funeral. So having the conversation is the hard part. But if we're willing to do it and get past our differences, we can get things done.
So if we get to the core of our differences, we can find common ground.
I believe so. And if you talk long enough, communicate, you can find some kind of like in marriages or relationships or dating. We're different. We all want, we're like, oh, that gets on my nerves. They're so different, the boyfriend or husband or whatever, or wife. But that's what we like. We like it. We like to be with someone that's different than us. My wife, Valeria, we are so different. She is so fun, Camila. My wife is the fun one, okay? She is so fun, and I'm not naturally fun. I love people and things, but I'm not naturally like, hey, let's go and, I don't know, this new idea. But anyway, we talk long enough, and the differences.
There's a common ground.
And you can learn from the other people about the differences.
You can.
Yeah.
I learned from my wife a lot.
Yeah.
See, Valeria, if you're watching, I learned from you, okay? My wife, but we do.
Okay, I have another question for you. Tell us how is a normal day for a mayor? What did you do since the beginning until you are
Sure.
done?
The days are very different right now, and I'm still working on my schedule. We're going to be working on constituent Tuesdays, maybe in March or April, where they come into City Hall and meet with me. Where anybody could come and sit down with me for 30-minute increments. But I can tell you, let's say, let me give you a day, because the days are very different depending on the meetings. Get up at 5 a.m., get ready, get my kids, help get my wife and I will get our kids ready, get lunches. I take my kids to school, meet with Manny Gomez at City Hall, and we go over the issues that we're working on. I think as a mayor, I need to be looking at all of Hobbs. As a city commissioner, I worked on my district, all of Hobbs, but my district elected me. But as a mayor, I'm looking over all of Hobbs. And so to talk at a macro perspective with our city manager. So I'll do that. I might have a couple more meetings. I have a noon meeting at church that I try to keep, some afternoon meetings, and then a commission meeting at night, or a packet review. Before any meeting ever happens on a Monday, we have 2 meetings a month. The week before that, there's 3 meetings, and they're an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours each, and they're long. And even if the agenda for the commission meeting is short, and the commission meeting takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because commission meetings are shorter, city commission meetings. To get to that, so much work and so many meetings, and I'm seeing that already. But I love it. I think if you love the process, if you love that, so that's kind of what a day looks like. But it's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of listening. Okay.
And what is the reason you wanted to be a mayor?
Well, I think many years ago, I feel like running for office. It was something that God put in my heart. I don't mean to over spiritualize it, but I think that's what it was. I was in 2007. I was on a humanitarian mission trip, and I went to South Africa, and we were in a place that had a lot of poverty, had a lot of AIDS victims, HIV, and so we spent a lot of time with people. We went into a Catholic hospice center one time, and the local priest there, he ran it with his diocese, and it was heartbreaking seeing a 1-year-old baby who'd never had a chance, and there was already HIV positive. That's hard. Okay. And we were in a village in Koster, South Africa, and I was sitting in church, and I was sitting in a service, and I'll summarize, but I felt like in my heart during that service, my heart was breaking for the people of Africa, but for some strange reason, I felt like the Lord put on my heart. I was sitting there and tears rolled down my cheeks, and I felt like my heart was breaking for my people back home. Here I was, thousands of miles away on another continent, serving another people, but I felt like my heart was breaking for my community back home. And I said, you know what? I don't have the money for it. I don't have the connections. I was a poor kid from South Hobbs. And I thought, if God could work it out, I'm gonna run for office. And I love what I decided to run for mayor along the way, and I decided to serve in public office. It's an interesting thing, because anytime I've ever served in the community as a city commissioner, county commissioner, I'll meet with a different group of people. And I would leave, and I felt like a prayer would come to my heart. Lord, I'd meet with veterans and be like, Lord, help me. Use me to help veterans, man. I just see what they're going through, the struggle after war or battle and the service. Or I'd meet with African Americans and see what they went through in the civil rights era and the racism they went through, and be like, Lord, use me to be a blessing to them or this group of people. And as I continue to do that, how can you serve all these different groups of people? Well, you can serve in ministry as a pastor, because you serve different people. But another way that I always feel like is part of my life, part of my way to serve, part of my ministry, if you will, is serving in public office. Because if you can serve in public office, you can help everybody. If you make a good road, you're going to help all these different people. And so it's my life passion is to help people. That's the short of it. I want to help people. And as a mayor, I can do that. And I can still be home with my kids at night, even though it's a lot more hours. And my wife, Valeria, and I are still working through the schedules and things. And I have a great wife that helps me a lot with the kids and things. But we tag team. So whenever I go home at night, we talked about my daily schedule. I got to change pañales, and I still got to get up with the kids, and we take turns, and I help make dinner. And I'm not a great cook. I'm not, but I do survival cooking. I can do rice and meat and things. But so anyway, that's why I ran. It's I felt like God put it on my heart, and I want to serve people. So that's the big thing.
Awesome.
And you can do that as a mayor. And I think for a limited amount of time, because I know one day I'm not going to be mayor. I don't know what my future holds, but one day I'm not going to be in this position. But for a limited amount of time, I have this position of mayor, and I can help make laws that make our city better. I can help attract new businesses. I can help make roads better. And my interactions with people can be a blessing for a lifetime. If a mayor comes to a kid's classroom like I did 2 days ago and went to Will Rogers Elementary, classroom of fourth graders. If the mayor, they may not remember my name, may not my face, but they'll say, no, the mayor came to my classroom. If I can come in there and show kindness to a kid and give a high five and inspire them with one little thought, maybe that one conversation can do for them what my teachers and people did for me. Because we remember when people were kind to us when we were a kid, or we were kids, or we were poor or something. And that one person that showed us kindness and interest in us, we remember that for the rest of our lives. And I want to do that as mayor. So that's part of it too.
That's awesome. What's your opinion about growth and development in Hobbs? How does your vision helps, and how does your love for serving connects to that part?
Absolutely. I think we always, we never have enough businesses. All right. So we always have to have the welcome mat open. I think for the city of Hobbs, we have to stay true to the laws and the rules and regulations. But we have to stay true to all of that. But we have to have a welcome mat open. When someone wants to come in and start a business, we need to be able to show them, hey, these are the rules, these are the regulations, this is what you need to do. We want you to do well. So we need to have an environment that we cultivate that is a good atmosphere for businesses. You ladies work in the private sector. You're business owners. You're job creators. You pay taxes. And I need to be able to support you. And you need to have a good atmosphere up for me as a leader, where I create good roads for you and your employees to drive on. I need to work with our police department, and we're working on that, to build the morale, to grow the police department, to make it a good place that's fun to work, a safe place where we build them up and work on and support them so they can turn around and make your neighborhood safe, your home, your office. Where our friends come from Cuba or Mexico or wherever, and they come in as positive elements in the community, positive additions to the community. We need to have a safe environment for them. So we have to work on, again, public safety. We have to work on good roads. We have to have the welcome mat open with our staff, where we're not making it harder for you. It's hard enough to do business in New Mexico. We all know that. It's easier in Texas. Yeah. God bless you, Texas. We know. But we have to try to do things better. And even with housing, our housing incentives, we have ways to attract businesses. And there are companies that are taking a risk here. You take a risk anyway. But we want to if we can lower the cost of doing business and welcome you to do business in our community, I think we're going to be better off. And that's something I always want to do.
Which are your recommendations for new businesses, for the citizens planning, thinking about new businesses?
Well, I think we have so much opportunity for growth. Down the street, someone put an Italian business, Joe's. They say it's great.
I love it.
Yeah, do you like it? Is it good?
I love it. Yes, it is.
Okay, I need to go there. I hear is he from Albania or something?
I think he's like an Eastern European.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he knows some Italian food apparently.
But I do not know details. But food is really good.
Is it really?
It was a great service.
Okay.
It was fast. It was clean. It was delicious. We want to go back.
Look, see, there's great opportunities for more restaurants here, and there's developers. There's people like Mr. Cassis. They are going off, and some of his ideas. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, Nadim. But I will say this: Nadim Cassis and Joe and others. There's some cool new restaurants coming into this town, and there's some great opportunity. And I know some people are like, "Oh, I'm so scared of competing against, some big franchise or whatever." No. A good business in Hobbs that has good service can compete against anybody. You can kill the big boys any day of the week if you do good business. So I think restaurants, retail, Hobbs has so much more buying power than the businesses we have.
Yeah, that's right.
You can and they can't ignore us forever. And we're gonna come knocking. Now people sometimes they'll talk about me. They go, "John, you're so nice. How could you be a mayor? You're just so nice." And I'm like, I'm a felt covered brick. All right. In other words, you get a brick and put a nice thing on. That thing can still break a window, but it's nice. It's soft. You whatever. But I have a good bedside manner, so I'm gonna push for businesses in the most nice, respectful way possible. But I'm gonna push and push and push and push. That's how you become a city commissioner, a county commissioner, a mayor. You have to be able to push. You have to be able to hustle, but you have to be able to do it in a way that is respectful and is fun and where people want to be a part of it. I think there's a lot of energy in the city. There's a lot of opportunity, and people are seeing it. And that's why there's big companies. There are big things. There are big organizations looking at us. They can't ignore the buying power because people go from Hobbs to Midland. You do it. I do it. We all do it. We go to Midland. We go to Lubbock and all these things. And people spend a lot of money when they do it.
Yeah.
And but that's okay. We're gonna work on more things here. And if people are willing to pay the price and sweat and work it hard, you can do well in Hobbs, New Mexico, no matter where you come from. You can come from Mexico, Cuba, or Guatemala, but you can be very successful in Hobbs if you're willing to work at it. And y'all know that. You know that already.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the oil field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What does the oil field represent for the city of Hobbs?
Everything. I mean, that's the foundation of our economy. We always have to be pushing for oil and gas and to support it. And, I think there's a misconception sometimes from Santa Fe or other parts of the country, maybe even California. They think that we're out to pollute things. No. We want clean air. I'm going to live here. My kids live here. Mm-hmm. I want my grandkids and great-grandkids to live here. I want clean water. I want clean air. And how it is. Oil and gas companies, the good ones, and a vast majority are good, they want it too. They want to do business, but they want to do it right. So we need to welcome them in, and we need to continue to support them, continue to advocate for them, and I've done that as a county commissioner. I continue that as a mayor. So much of our tax revenue for the city of Hobbs in years past came from oil companies being based here. Mm-hmm. But 6 years ago, they changed the tax law. They called it House Bill 6. Mm-hmm. And so when they changed that, they called it the Amazon tax. So, Amazon, when they go to your house. Mm-hmm. So if they're from Georgia, everybody orders from Amazon. So from Georgia, but they come to your house on this street to Ide, well, they tax it at this location, gross receipts tax for the state of New Mexico, and it's in Hobbs. Mm-hmm. That's great, right? Not so much. It's good for the state of New Mexico. It was bad for Hobbs. Because all those oil service companies in town, their service is not in Hobbs. They're located here, but it's in Reeves County. It's in Eddy County. It's out by Jow and all those things. So we lost about $15 million a year. Wow. So we're going to have to, in the next few months, we have to look at our budget and we have to make some very hard decisions about what we're going to do as a community so that we can continue to incentivize businesses and work on new things. So we have to continue to support oil and gas. And but we have to recognize that retail is going to be, and because gross receipts tax is where we get all our money, we have to continue to diversify our economy so that we have a good tax base to serve you, to make our roads safe, to make our police department the best in the state of New Mexico. We're number one pay or number two, somewhere in there. We just have to continue to work on those things with the tax base we have. So anyway, I'm big on oil and gas, but I also want to diversify our economy. Now, Santa Fe sometimes will say this. They say oil diversification or energy diversification. What that means sometimes is no oil and gas, everything else. I believe in true energy diversification. Oil and gas, support them. It's the foundation of our economy. But if the science is good, let's do nuclear. If the science is good, let's do solar and wind. Let's do whatever if it's proven to be safe. And that's why I've supported Urenco. That's why I supported other nuclear projects. I interned for U.S. Senator Pete Domenici, muchos años atrás, and he was a nuclear advocate. And I think we need that in our U.S. senators. That's the reason we have Urenco. And I think we need more of that. Oil and gas and other things.
So what is the biggest challenge or barrier that you can see as a mayor to achieve these projects that you want to do it?
Absolutely. Well, right now our budget's different. Well, because of House Bill 6, we lost about $15 million a year. Now, the city commissioners and the previous mayor have done a good job in managing our finances. Very good job. City staff did a very good job. They didn't do anything crazy. they had the goalposts moved. It's kind of like you're playing American football, and you're doing good, and you're 20 yards away from getting a touchdown, but then all of a sudden they move the goalpost 70 more yards away. So it's hard. So they were doing very good financially. But when all of a sudden you have the core, you have all these great things, you lose $15 million a year. This isn't Albuquerque. You lose $15 million a year, you're going to be in trouble. Well, they decided, look, we're going to hold off on sewer lines and water lines. We're going to hold off. We're going to figure out, get a good plan for roads. And they held off on some things to see what the budget was doing. Now we're starting to pick up more on roads and sewer lines and things. But as you know, in business, you can't make your budget pulling from savings. You can do it for a little bit, but you can't do it forever. And we have about 32%. Every percent is worth about $600,000. So we have about 33% in savings, which is great. And we still have a revenue stream, but we have to see what we're going to do. We've tried to get the tax law changed. It's been very difficult. We partner with the Maddox Foundation. We partner with the county. Those are good things. But even partnerships. Partnerships help you do more on roads and things, but you can't rely on other organizations to pave your roads and to diversify your city. For us to have more housing and more companies, we have to have incentives. You have to welcome them here. This isn't Dallas. This isn't Orlando, Florida. We don't have Disneyland here. So we have to incentivize them. And if they can do business in Texas HEB won't come to New Mexico. They will not come anywhere in New Mexico, much less Hobbs. You say, well, what about Albuquerque? They won't go there either because the laws are tough and because the unions, I don't know. But so we have to incentivize businesses to work, to come in for some of these things. And so I say all that to say this, our budget is a little tricky and we have to figure it out. And we have to look at things. We're going to have to look at the budget and see where we're at. And those are uncomfortable conversations. Those are hard conversations. Those are conversations that could cost me politically. But I'm willing to do the right thing because my kids live here, even if it costs me. If I do the right thing and it costs me re-election or anything like that, I can live with that if I'm doing the right thing. But I want to do the right thing by our budget. And in the next 6 months, we're going to be looking at that. We're going to get through this budget cycle. So that's the hardest thing because we want to develop Taylor Ranch and we have great ideas. We want to do, because people have asked us, y'all are my boss. And the people of Hobbs have asked us, they want another grocery store. They want good development. They want us to do something. And I get that, and I'm hearing, but we also need the money to do it. And so we're going to have to see how we do that. And, but we'll get through it. And if the people of Hobbs will work with us as a commission and help us, I think we can do some really great things in the next 3 years, things that are game changers for all of us, very pivotal, momentous things. I really believe that.
Wish you all success.
Thank you. Yeah. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep at it.
Yeah, and think out of the box because, I mean, if cannot be a limit the budget. I know it's hard, but maybe fundraising or other different partners to help you to build the dreams that all the people from Hobbs we have.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And so we're hustling right now. I was going to meet with Congresswoman Fernandez. I had a meeting with her yesterday, but she got sick, so she wasn't able to come in. But we're contacting the state of New Mexico. I was up there for 3 days with my sister Elaine and meeting with the other legislators. We're working with the Maddox Foundation, the county. Federal government's a little harder sometimes. But we're working on it, and so we're looking at everything. And if the people of Hobbs will be patient with us along the way, and if they'll give us a chance to continue to do right with their budget, and I think we can build on this. I think we can do some good things that they're proud of, and that our grandkids can be proud of too. Where our grandkids will want to live here. I want my kids to pick pick Hobbs over Dallas. I want them to say, you know what, I could go to Albuquerque or Kansas City, but I want to stay in Hobbs. Mom's here, but I have jobs here. There's opportunities here. And I think we're going to get there. This is a great place to live.
Yeah, and I believe that a lot of people from different states come to live in Hobbs.
They do.
So
they do.
You know that. I mean, a lot of people from different places, like me, like her.
You're right.
We are here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have Disneyland.
Yeah, you're right.
But we have other things
We
that
have other
we
things.
really appreciate it.
You're right.
Yeah.
We have the best people anywhere. See, y'all prove that. So we
Yeah.
have good people out here that come from so many
that's
places.
true.
Hobbs is a wonderful place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And you look, I'm looking around this room. I see 2 great professionals here and 1 great professional behind the camera. You could have lived in so many places. You lived in other places, Sinaloa, Mexico City, Cuba, other places. And you could have done some of this stuff maybe anywhere. But you chose to live in Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
There are opportunities here. And if somebody's willing to work hard and hustle, you can do well in Hobbs, New Mexico. You can make a great life here. And you can be affluent in this town. And you can we want you to spend your money here. But if you need to fly out, we have Fly Hobbs. You can fly to Puerto Rico, fly to Slovakia or wherever, England. But you can do well in Hobbs. This is a great place for dreamers. This is a great place for hard workers. And I don't mean even dreamers like from the immigrant side of things. That's true too. The dreamers, like we said, but someone who's willing to dream, someone who has a big vision can do great things in Hobbs. They can. I've seen it over and over again. I've seen it in my own life. I see it in my parents' life. You can do well. You can do well.
Do you feel as a mayor that society is united, or do you see different groups?
Sure. I think in the country, it's very divided, probably more divided than ever. And it's easy to do that. But I see a lot of unity here, and it gives me hope. So I'm excited for Hobbs, New Mexico, because there's good things happening here. And I see a lot of unity here. There's division, but even here, but I see more unity here than in other places. And I think that's why we've been able to get so many good things done.
Did your kids love your new position? Or how does it feel?
Well, of course, Santiago,
in the age,
Yeah, I think during the campaign, they'd see the signs. And so we would drive, and my little boy, Benjamin's so full of life, he's all, "Senna for mayor!" Or he'd just say, "For mayor!" He'd scream whenever he saw the sign. One time, Benjamin was running through the house, and I was like, "What are you doing? Don't run in the house." He said, "I'm running for mayor." So in my little girl, we'll say that my little boy, he's 2. He goes, "Are you the mayor?" But, I don't know if it hits them. They've come by the office, but they've been really great, really supportive. But I think at the end of the day, really, they just, my little girl, I think she's more concerned with me reading to her, or taking her to go get a donut, or my little boy to play with him than the actual position. But the family's been supportive, and I couldn't do this without Valeria, my wife. She's been super great. She's really savvy with social media and things, and she coaches me a lot. She gives me good advice. So that's been a blessing.
That's awesome.
What are the things that we have to change in Hobbs?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have work to do with our police department. We have work to do to make our streets, our businesses safer. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do to make our streets, not just neighborhoods safer, to make our roads better. Our roads have gotten really rough. We have a lot of work on our sewer lines. We're coming up on a vote in the next week and a half where we have a lot to do with that, because it's like having an older house. You got to fix pipes and things. The city is the same way. And it's very expensive to work on sewer lines. And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get contractors to do it. We're blessed. We have some in the state of New Mexico and even locally that do that. So we have to work on that. We have to work on retail. You ask anybody. We need more. You asked about it a while ago. We need more stores. We need more restaurants. We have a lot to do. And those are improvements we're working on. We're asking all the questions. As a mayor or even city commissioners, we never have the luxury of working on one issue. Just one thing. We have, like on any given day, I'm sitting with our city manager, and in an hour, we're going through 5, 10, 15 issues. Boom, 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 because you have to work on so many different things. But you can also stay organized. One of the things we're going to work on with the city, and I've asked and directed our city manager to help us, is to get with the commission and me, get with our city staff, and refocus on the goals and vision of our city so we can all move in the same direction on the most important issues of the day. So we have a lot of improvements to make, no doubt. But I think it's just opportunity. I think it comes down to opportunity. We have opportunities for improvement, and that's a good thing. We're going to make this better. I've seen it before. We've had great things happen in Hobbs. Who would have thought when I was a kid in Hobbs, New Mexico, that we would have Texas Roadhouse out here? Who would have thought that? Who would have thought 35 years ago that we'd have Applebee's and Chili's and a Starbucks? What? And all these coffee shops that locals are building? Who would have thought? And there's so many people in Hobbs. Who would have thought we'd be this diverse? To sit at a table where, here in a room where we have people from Cuban and different parts of Mexico all coming together, and we're all American, really, and we all make good Americans, and we're all making Hobbs better. Who would have thought? And so there's opportunities for growth and improvement and better understanding between cultures, but I just see us getting better. I just see us improving, and even with the police department, there's good things happening there. It's going to take a little time, but there's good folks there. There's good people who care. And we're gonna get through some of the challenges. So it takes a little time, but we'll get there.
Let me ask you. Normally, the people expect something from a mayor, but what expects the mayor from the people?
Well, I know from my experience in Hobbs, people are great. That's my experience, and so people have been very respectful and kind. And this town has given me a shot. I know I'm a young mayor, and when you're young, or even Latino, Hispanics, you gotta work extra hard, right? But people have been so kind to me. When I was 20, I had barely turned 27 years old, and they gave me a chance to serve as city commissioner for this area, and I'm grateful for that. They didn't have to do that, and they gave me a chance to serve as a county commissioner. And then it's very hard I love campaigns. I love the process. If you don't love the process, you'll never enjoy it. It's like having a business. If you don't enjoy the day-to-day and you're just waiting for the big success, then you're going to be miserable, right? You got to enjoy campaign. You got to enjoy so I love this city. The city's been good to me. I mean, you want people to be respectful and bring them to the table. But one of the things for me as a mayor is I understand that part of my job is to be a catalyst. Part of my strength is to bring people together who are very different and connect them. And so there's people that I've been able to work with from varying backgrounds but they have good ideas. If we can bring those together, we can get good things done. And if I'm willing to listen, if people are willing to speak, and I'm willing to listen, and they're willing to help me, then we can get things done. So what are my expectations from people? And we want people to be respectful. We want people to speak up. We want people to vote. We want people to realize that the answer for making Hobbs safe isn't just at the police department. It's not just City Hall to come. It's all of us working together. Because the best ideas I've ever had, I'm going to say this, I'm going to admit this on your show. Are you ready for this? This is a big admission. The best ideas I ever had weren't even mine. They weren't even mine. I went and knocked on doors, and people, I said, hey, what do you need? And they started telling me things. And I go, okay, let's work on that. And then you bring it up and they go, oh, what a genius idea. And I was like, well, that wasn't me, man. I just knocked on someone's door on Lincoln, or I knocked on someone's door on Gila or Stephen, and they told me. If you listen long enough, people give you genius ideas in this town. We have the answers in this town to our problems. Now, we're never going to make a city perfect until we get to heaven, but you can make a city better. And if you're willing, if a mayor and a commissioner is willing to listen to people, they have great ideas. Not every idea is going to work. Not every idea is functional or even a great idea. But there's ideas that people bring up, and you're like, okay, let's try that. Then you see if you have enough common ground to get it done, enough votes. Sometimes you can get it done. And that happened with the core. That happened with the baseball fields. That's happened with the best ideas in this town, is having a conversation. So if people are willing to respectfully share their thoughts and work together and work to make a community better, you can get a lot done. That's been my experience, and that's why I love this town, and that's why I'm hopeful. I'm so excited about the future. I've had some people tell me, they go, why would you ever want to be mayor? Why would you ever want to do that? Our best days are in front of us. We live in the best city in the state of New Mexico. I know that. I'm a norteño by blood. I'm a northern New Mexican. My family's been in New Mexico for 400 years. But I love Hobbs. This is my home. I am proud of the oil industry. I'm proud of our people. I'm proud of our diversity. I'm proud of our work ethic. We have great people in Hobbs, New Mexico, the best anywhere. I know that from my experience. We have great entrepreneurs. We have hardworking people, and any company that comes in from Dallas or Kansas City or New York that comes in and builds a business in here will be lucky to have a business here because our people are the best. We have good buying power. We have great employees. We have people that are upwardly mobile, and we have a great economy. We have a great economy because we have great people. The people are the best thing about Hobbs, New Mexico, and they inspire me continually. And that's why I am honored to serve the people of Hobbs. We have a great community, and we have good things in front of us. We have a bright future here.
Okay.
I think we all have a positive, really positive impression or opinion about Jonathan Sena.
Well, thank you. Okay, man, tell all my friends that. That's great.
A good mayor, a good public figure, a good family person, a good pastor, a good influencer, because I don't know
Thank you for that.
what does an influencer means if it is not like going and knocking doors and reaching out to people. I think we all have a really good perspective about you.
Thank you. I need to hang out with you more, Rosa. You make me feel good.
You should come back.
Man, this is great. Well, thank you, but I appreciate that.
But I have a question. Has everything been always perfect, or
Not at all.
How did Jonathan gets to be rooted? What's the root of Jonathan?
Well, thank you for that. I tell you what, I think Mike Tyson said once, he said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. And I think Sylvester Stallone in his movie Rocky VI, it's called Rocky Balboa, he has this great scene in the movie, and I don't have the quote in front of me, but he said, nothing's going to hit as hard as life. And it's going to hit you and knock you down if you let it. Life can be very hard sometimes. And when I came to Hobbs, we came as a very poor family in South Hobbs, and sometimes the only new clothes we ever got or ever obtained was my grandmother would bring trash sacks of old clothes from my cousins. And, kids would laugh at school at me if I wore some pants that were like my cousin's pants. They were girls' pants or something that I wore by accident. I couldn't read very well as a kid. So that was hard as a kid. No kids want to be laughed at. There was a time where I was bullied. I had a big mouth, right? My mouth got me in trouble sometimes. But I had people who cared for me. I'll never forget. It was during those there's hard things that people go through. And even when my mom died, she was a mentor for you and for me, a good friend to us. That was very hard. Because when you go through something hard and you're in business or in politics, people look at you and they expect you to have all the answers. You got to have a smile. You got to keep your gloves up. Hey, how's everything going? It's great. We're doing good. But you don't always feel that way. We go through hard things in life. We have loss. You can name all the things: death, divorce, loss of a business. Kids make mistakes. Life is hard sometimes. And when my mom died, that was hard. When we went through poverty as a kid, that was hard. When we were on WIC and I lived with hand-me-downs from clothes and things, that was hard. But along the way, I had people show kindness to me. When I was in 5th grade and I had a big mouth and kids wanted to beat me up, I remember a young man. He's a member of the Polo Urias' band. His name's Eric Urias. Some of y'all may know him. Eric Urias is a friend to this day. But in 5th grade, he was the cool kid in class. He's Polo's son. Everybody loves Polo. And Eric, I remember him telling me, he said, "Hey, man, they're not going to do anything to you. I got your back." And I never forgot that. When I was in 6th grade, my teacher took up for me. And teachers believed in me. And teachers taught me to use a little more wisdom with my words. And that helped me along the way. When I lost my election in 2010 and had to pick myself up and get encouragement, I had to listen. I had to learn. I had to make some changes in my life. I remember after I lost the 2010 election, I went to visit my mom, and I was walking out of the house, and my mom, she could see I was just discouraged. And because when you win an election, everybody calls you.
Right.
Everybody calls you. But when you lose an election, this right here is the most quiet contraption in the world, because nobody's calling you for anything when you lose. But I was walking out of the house, and I remember my mom said, "Hey," she said, "You remember, you have greatness inside of you." And I didn't feel like I had greatness inside of me. I got killed in an election, but I said, you know what? I'm going to start working hard, and I'm going to start reading books that inspire me about leaders. And then it was so I had to learn things, but then I had to dig into my faith. And for me, and yeah, I know you have a very varied audience and a very diverse audience, but I'm a Christian and my faith is a big part of my life. And so prayer, and I read the Bible, and I have mentors in my life that speak into my life. In this town, there are people in my life that have been speaking into my life since I was my very first term as a city commissioner, and they still speak into my life today. And they encourage me and they pray for me, and they'll sit down with me and ask me hard questions, and I can be real, and that's important. That helps me. And so my faith and good friends in my life and mentors, that's helped me go. And I read good books. I like learning about Teddy Roosevelt. People, Teddy Roosevelt was one of the great American presidents, and he lost his wife and his mom within a 24-hour period. And he wrote in his journal, he said, "The light has gone out in my life." And he had to go. He went out west, and he found his joy again, and he came back to become one of the greatest presidents in the history of America. Somebody who actually had dinner in the White House with an African-American man named Booker T. Washington, which was unheard of in the early 1900s. It's not a big deal now, but back then that was a big deal. And he broke a lot of barriers in doing things like that. And so I had to learn from these leaders and learn from people who failed and learn from people who lost. So when I lost in my own life, it didn't kill me, but it encouraged me. And I think one of the things too is I've had to, you have to learn to forgive a lot. If you're going to be in business, or you're going to be in a relationship with people, or you're going to be in politics, you have to forgive a lot, because it's easy to get in bitterness. It is for any of us in relationship, in business, in politics. If you don't forgive, you'll never find common ground. And that doesn't sound very political or anything, but forgiveness is a big part of this. Because bitterness can stop any of us from fulfilling the greatness that God put inside of us. And that's helped me a lot along the way. And I've had to, one of the great heroes in my life was a lady named Corrie ten Boom, who wrote a book. It was called The Hiding Place. It's one of the greatest books I've ever read in my life. It changed my life. And she learned to forgive Nazi Germany. And they killed her family. They took everything from her, but she still chose to forgive. And she wrote a book. They made a movie about it. She traveled the world and did incredible things. So anyway, those are some of the things.
Awesome. My kid is reading that book.
Yeah, that's a great book. Yes. That's a great book. And there's a movie about it. I think it's on YouTube that Billy Graham made. Phenomenal. That someone told me that she actually came to Lee County many years ago. But phenomenal woman. And there's a second book to it too. So I totally recommend anything by Corrie ten Boom.
That's awesome. How interesting. I think we could keep talking 2 hours. 3
Yes,
hours.
Absolutely. Y'all are easy to talk to, so I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you. That's awesome. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You're welcome. Thank you for the Cuban coffee and for the fancy water from Italy. Wow, I must say, this is fantastic.
Can you share a message for the community? What do you want to tell us as a society?
Absolutely. I believe with all my heart, I believe that when we work together, we can get good things done. If we're willing to pursue a conversation, whether we're Democrats or Republicans or independents, if we're willing to communicate and work together, we can find common ground and we can move forward. And in that vein, that's my passion. My passion is to work on the issues that liberals and Democrats and independents and Republicans can all focus on. Infrastructure, roads, and drainage, we all need that. Economic development, we all want great jobs. We all want our kids to have a better life and have better opportunities than we have. We all want good health care. We all want a safe community. And those are the issues that I'm going to continue to work on, that I'm committed to. I think promises are cheap, but my commitment is to work on those issues. I've worked on them for so many years, and I'm going to continue to work on those as mayor. And if you'll work with me, and you already are, we have great city commissioners. We have a great community. We're coming together. We're getting good things done. And I believe that in the next few years, we're going to see incredible things happen in Hobbs, New Mexico, because we are pursuing a conversation, because we're working together. We're valuing our differences, but we're coming together on those areas of commonality. And as we continue to do that, we're going to get some great things done. So thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me here today. You ladies are fantastic. So keep doing this, because you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Last question. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry.
No, you're good.
a normal person that wants to approach to the city or to you, what is the correct way to be in touch?
Absolutely. So I have, let me give you my my email address. Anyone can email me. Let me pull this out. I should have a business card. What kind of politician am I, right? Not to have it sitting right here.
Yeah.
But we can add it on there. And so it is, if you want to, if you'd like to email me, let me give you my email address. You can do that at, I have it right here. It's jonathan.sena@hobbsnm.org. You can email me. That's jonathan.sena, SENA, @hobbsnm.org. Or if you'd like to call our office and visit with our office administrative manager there, Julie, 575-397-9206. There's also a number to text. I don't have that in front of me, but that anybody can ask. If anyone has a question, we can get you all that number to share. And anyone that has any question about the city, they can text that number and get a response. So we want to connect with people. I never want City Hall or the mayor's office to be an ivory tower where nobody can reach them. Now my time is limited, so I can't. There's only so many hours in the day, and at the end of the day, I also want to be a good husband and a good father. But we definitely want people to connect with us so that we can get them the answers they need. And sometimes it's not a city answer, but maybe a state or a federal type question, but we can connect them for sure, and we will continue to do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And again, thanks for everything. And Camila, you've been so patient behind the camera, doing a great job back there. So, gracias por todo.
Acento.